So hey, we're here with our buddy Sean from Storytell Now, who's a professional adventurer, and you've been running a camper since 2022, and we just put a brand new Pro on the truck on his Gladiator. That is not a stock Gladiator. And we just wanted to walk through this thing with you, hear about how you approach the build out, what you use this truck for, and jump right in.
So it's a 2022 Jeep Gladiator, obviously extremely custom. I like to get into some kind of crazy adventures where things are harder to get to than what most people might be willing to or able to do. So I wanted it to be like a go anywhere, do anything, and be functional to live out of for days at a time if I need to as well. It still has the factory Rubicon 4-to-1 transfer case underneath. Other than that, pretty much everything on this is custom other than, the body. Well, we got a custom wrap on the body, but the body and the frame and the transfer case are all the original parts. It's got about a 5.5-inch suspension lift, Ultimate Dana 60 axles front and rear.
And those 40s?
Yeah, these are 40-inch Toyo MTs on 17-inch KMC beadlock wheels. I kind of built this to go anywhere, do anything, and be able to live out of it for multiple days at a time, which of course is where the Go Fast camper comes in, right?
Totally. So it's like almost like an Ultra 4 truck that you could go on adventures with.
Yeah, it's like a little bit more extreme than your average overland rig.
And with the bigger intake here and the higher hood, this thing has the V6 Pentastar, right?
No, it doesn't. It used to. It now has a 426 Hemi swap from America's Most Wanted, done by Epic Adventure Outfitters up in British Columbia.
Awesome.
So we can pop the hood if you like to take a look.
Let's check it out.
Probably not the, ow, that's really hot. Probably not the cleanest engine bay.
And this is part of the swap?
Yes, this is part of the swap. This is the optional microphone accessory. I've got that in there so I can record the sweet engine noises when
that's killer.
I'm driving. Got to use it in the video, right? Otherwise, it's a really expensive engine for nothing.
A lot of the trips I've seen you go on are into the sticks.
That's right.
So you're like getting really out there, away from civilization, away from support, right?
Yeah, well, I live in British Columbia, which is pretty wild in general. So, I mean, a lot of our trips are just weekend trips. It looks pretty wild and remote, but I mean, really, we're only a couple of hours from a gas station. So a lot of times we're operating on a single tank of gas, or, I'll carry 2 or 3 jerry cans in the back if I feel like I'm gonna need them.
Obviously the performance of this vehicle, the wheel size or tire size, all that stuff has really greatly improved the off-road performance, but how's it affected range? Like, what's your fuel economy?
The range is not as bad as you would expect. It's definitely less when you're aired down in 4-low going slow and you're idling a lot.
Yep.
But it still gets about 400 kilometers per tank on the highway. But off-road, you can throw that right out the window.
Yep, 100%. So. Especially if you want to make the microphone pick up cool noises.
That's right. Yeah. Other than that, we've got aluminum front and rear bumpers and fenders, so all aluminum armor to save weight. So for lighting, we've got a full KC Highlights lighting package on here. We've got a couple of the Flex Era 4s on the front in amber, full set of rock lights underneath the KC Cyclones. Up on the A-pillars, we got a couple of Flex Era 3s to light up out on the sides. And then up here, we got the new Titan light bar, which is pretty cool because it can do amber or white light, and it throws a lot of light for the nighttime adventures we do.
Totally. And you got a Sherpa rack up there, kind of a cab rack that works
really
fast?
We got the Sherpa over cab rack here, and I use this mainly for mounting my Starlink, which is on the other side there. I've got it flat mounted on there, and that's wired directly into the Red Arc system inside. So pretty simple in the back. I've got a Goose Gear kitchen slide here. Other than that, I've got my 40-inch spare strapped in the back as forward as possible to save space, as well as keep the weight kind of as forward as you can. Because you can't really put a 40-inch spare on like a tire carrier on the back of these trucks. The weight is just, the frame can't really handle it.
Yeah, the spare tire is always kind of the limiting factor of a lot of build location and layout stuff. But yeah, I've seen more than a handful of these trucks bend in half off-road with tire carriers, just because the frame just can't handle that much weight, and where the bump stops hit, it just creases it right in half.
I did that to my first Gladiator. So put your spare tire inside at the front if you've got a Gladiator and you don't want to wreck it.
For sure, especially if it's a 40 on a beadlock.
Especially.
So this build out is light and fast and simple and streamlined, and on a lot of vehicles that I see that are getting into like some really hairy stuff or kind of more adventures, the more Spartan the build outs get. And I kind of would love to hear what you see as adventure, as somebody who goes on trips that are maybe a little gnarlier than most people. Like, what do you look for when you're planning like the perfect trip to go on?
I mean, the perfect trip to me is a little bit of exploration, going places that other people can't get to or won't or aren't willing to sacrifice their vehicle enough to go to. A lot of the places we go, you know, we do, like, if you look at the truck, it's wrapped, but it's covered in scratches.
And I should mention that Sean is one of our top durability testers. If we want something broken or tested,
yeah,
he'll work through it quick.
Some of your parts, I'll let you know if they break or not. I'm well known for that. So that's adventure to me, is like getting out where most people aren't willing to go, and exploring places that are maybe long forgotten or abandoned.
Yeah. Is there anything that when you think about like planning a trip, do you try to go into a situation where you might not know the outcome? Like, is that one of the
all
goals?
the time?
Yeah. Right.
A lot of times we'll be like scouting out, you know, stuff that we're just looking on satellite maps, like, oh, there might be a road there.
Yep. And
we'll be looking and see like, oh, this looks like this is probably like a huge washout here. Like, cool, let's go across it. You know, like, let's find a way to get to whatever's over here. It looks like there's a cool bowl here. That would be a sweet place to camp. Or, you know, there's an old mine up here. Let's get to this old mine. And
yeah, what happens when we put tracks on our 600 horsepower Jeep and drive into the middle of the wilderness? And out of camp.
Probably break them and spend 8 hours repairing them.
Yeah, it sounds like
last year.
You might have some experience with that. But yeah, I think a lot of the overland community, a lot of the overland space has kind of lost sight of what adventure is in I guess, like, in lieu of building their truck for fun. And I think that that's a totally valid pursuit. If you're the kind of guy that like loves like the Lego build of like putting all the parts together and going out to the local campground and using it, like, nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to like what these things are truly built for, like why you see a truck on 40s, why you see a vehicle that has a go fast that's built out to really like haul ass and beat the crap out of, you're bringing back something to YouTube that elevates that adventure experience and kind of brings that back to the forefront, where the vehicle is just helping you go on that adventure. The vehicle isn't the goal, right?
I always say the vehicle is just a tool.
Yep.
So tools get broken, they get beaten on, they get, you know, used for a purpose. They're not the purpose of the adventure. And that's why a lot of, in my content, you don't really hear me talking about a lot of gear and stuff, doing like gear reviews and talking about like batteries and stuff a whole lot, right? Because I try to focus on the adventure part of it, because that's what gets me excited.
Yeah, and like, how did you get into like adventure travel with a vehicle? Like, was it just from that magazine article?
I mean, that was definitely one of the things. I originally, I was going camping a lot on back roads with a buddy of mine, and I was driving a Mazda Miata.
Yep.
And so I was that guy on the forestry roads on the Mazda Miata, and people are looking at me funny as I drive by. And my friend said, "Oh, why don't you just like spend $1,000 and buy like a beat up Ford Explorer or something, and then like have a camping vehicle." And then I ended up getting a Cherokee, like a '99 Jeep Cherokee on 31s. For the wind's making me cry.
Yeah.
And
it's an emotional topic, I get it.
yeah, I'm getting emotional reminiscing about this. But yeah, so I bought that. It was you know, a piece of junk, but I was like, well, what else can I do with this?
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, you just go down this rabbit hole, and I joined a local Jeep club and went out off-roading for the first time, and I just got hooked, and I just wanted to have more and more adventure. And I've always had an adventurous kind of spirit, I guess. So
totally. And when did you switch to like having content be a big part of your adventures?
I've always kind of been making videos my whole life, so it's always something I wanted to do, and I just kind of, my channel didn't even start off as off-roading. It started off as just me filming whatever interesting things I was doing, and I happened to be getting into off-roading at the time. That was what clicked with people, so cool. I just kind of rolled with it.
When you're going out to find an adventure, like, how much planning goes into that? And with the way you have this truck built out, how much planning do you need to do? I think that's, like, it looks like you're pretty much ready for anything. Like, you don't have a sink and a shower with you, but you can get in and out of just about anything with this truck.
Yeah, I mean, we got a big winch on the front. It can go through pretty much anything, and if it gets stuck, we're pretty confident we can get it out. Even if I was by myself, I could probably get it out unless I needed to go backwards. So, I mean, the only planning we really do is like, we want to go here. Does it look like we can potentially get there? Even if we have to work hard at it, then okay, let's go and give it a try. And that's pretty much it.
Sean, thank you so much for coming out to the shop and getting the V2 on here.
So
yeah, we're super stoked to get your first impressions on this. The team's been working super hard to get this all dialed. And you're making a video on the kind of first impressions video of this,
I am.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can check that out on my channel, The Story Till Now. Give me a subscribe.
If you like these kinds of videos, you want to hear more about how our customers get out, use product, test it, and see how people take adventures in their trucks, subscribe to our channel, Let us know in the comments if you like this or have any feedback.